Habaragani Espresso Talk Today community. It's Amma Robin here, host of the great and groundbreaking Espresso Talk Today podcast show. Akwaba, to day 2 of our Kwanzaa special celebration. Welcome to day 2 of the Espresso Talk Today Kwanzaa special. As you know, Kwanzaa is a 7-day celebration of African American culture and heritage. We have already published a great and very informative show explaining the full celebration of Kwanzaa earlier this month. That show was led by master storyteller Mama Edie. I really encourage you to listen to that show so you know all about this wonderful celebration, and a special Asante Sana to Mama Edie for her amazing work. Today, we are bringing the celebration of Kwanzaa to our amazing community. For each day of Kwanzaa, we will read stories and present a special musical selection. We invite you to listen and to discuss the Kwanzaa principles with us, with your family, and with your friends. Asante Sana, celebrating with us today. This is the second day of Kwanzaa. On day 2, we recognize the principle of self-determination, or Kujichagulia in the Kiswahili language. Self-determination means to define ourselves and to name ourselves, as well as to create for ourselves and speak for ourselves. Today's reading is a short story titled, "The People Could Fly." This story is an African American folk tale from the slavery period, and it is read by esteemed Espresso Talk Today team member Ben Koponen. I know you all remember him. We are now ready to begin today's Kwanzaa celebration. Yes, Kwanzaa is a celebration, so let's be joyful. Well, Kwanzaa is also a solemn remembrance. So let's be respectful and let's focus on what we need to do today. So sit back and relax. Take a deep, cleansing breath, and let's begin.
The people could fly. They say the people could fly. Say that long ago in Africa, some of the people knew magic, and they would walk upon the air like climbing on a gate, and they flew like blackbirds over the fields. Black, shiny wings flapping against the blue up there. Then many of the people were captured for slavery. The ones that could fly shed their wings. They couldn't take their wings across the water on the slave ships. Too crowded, don't you know? The folks were full of misery then. They got sick with the up and down of the sea, so they forgot about flying when they could no longer breathe the sweet scent of Africa. Say the people who could fly kept their power. Although they shed their wings, they kept their secret magic in the land of slavery. They looked the same as the other people from Africa who had been coming over, who also had dark skin. Say you couldn't tell any more who could fly from the one who couldn't. One such who could was an old man, call him Toby, and standing tall yet afraid was a young woman who once had wings. Call her Sarah. Now, Sarah carried a babe tied to her back. She trembled so hard and worked and scorned. The slaves labored in the fields from sun up to sun down, and the owner of the slaves, calling himself their master, say he was a hard lump of clay, a hard, glinty coal. A hard rock pile wouldn't be moved. His overseer, on horseback, pointed out to the slaves who were slowing down. So the one called driver cracked his whip over the slow ones to make them move faster. And that whip was a slice open cut of pain. So they did move faster. They had to. Now, Sarah hoed and chopped the row as the babe on her back slept. Now say the child grew hungry. Now that babe started bawling too loud. Sarah couldn't stop to feed it, couldn't stop to soothe and quiet it down, so she let it cry. She didn't want to, she had no heart to croon it. "Keep that thing quiet," called the overseer. He pulled his finger at the babe, and the woman scrunched low. The driver cracked his whip across the babe anyhow, and the babe hollered like a hurt child, and the woman fell to the ground. The old man was there, Toby, and he came and helped her to her feet. "I must go soon," she told him. "Soon," he said. Sarah couldn't stand up straight any longer. She was just too weak, and the sun burned her face. The baby cried and cried. "Pity me, oh pity me," say it sounded like. Sarah was so sad and starving that she sat down in the row. "Get up, you black cow," called the overseer. He pointed his hand, and the driver's whip snarled around Sarah's legs. Her sack dress torn to rags, and her legs bled onto the earth. She couldn't get up. Toby was there where there was no one to help her and the babe. "Now, before it's too late," panted Sarah. "Now, father." "Yes, daughter, the time has come," Toby answered. "Go as you know how to go." And he raised his arms, holding them out to her. "Kum yali, kum bubatambe," and more magic words, said so quickly they sounded like whispers and sighs. The young woman lifted one foot on the air, then the other, and she flew clumsily at first with the child now tightly in her arms. Then she felt the magic, the African mystery. Say she rose just as free as a bird and as light as a feather, and the overseer rode after her, hollering. Sarah flew over the fences, she flew over the woods, and tall trees couldn't snag her, nor could the overseer. She flew like an eagle now, until she was gone from sight. No one dared speak about it. No one could believe it. But it was, because they that was there saw that it was. Say the next day was dead hot in the fields. A young man-slave fell from the heat. The driver come and whipped him. Toby come over and spoke words to the fallen one. The words of ancient Africa once heard are never remembered completely. The young man forgot them as soon as he heard them, and they went way inside him. And he got up and rolled over on the air, and he rode it a while, and he flew away. Another and another fell from the heat, and Toby was there. He cried out to the fallen and reached his arms out to them. "Kum kakayali, kum tambe," whispers and sighs. And they too rose on the air. They rode the hot breeze. The ones flying were black and shining sticks, wheeling above the head of the overseer, and they crossed rows, the fields, the fences, the streams, and were away. "Seize the old man," cried the overseer. "I heard him say the magic words. Seize him." The one calling himself master come running, and the driver got his whip ready to curl around Toby and tie him up. The slave owner took his gun from his place, and he meant to kill old black Toby. But Toby just laughed. Say he threw back his head and said, "Hee hee, don't you know who I am? Don't you know some of us in this field?" He said it to their faces. "We are the ones who fly." And he sighed the ancient words that were a dark promise. He said them all around to the others in the field under the whip. Bubayali, bubatambe. There was a great outcrying. The bent backs straightened up. Old and young who were called slaves and could fly joined hands. Say like they would ring, sing, but they didn't shuffle in a circle. They didn't sing. They rose on the air. They flew in a flock that was black against the heavenly blue. Black crows or black shadows. It didn't matter. They went so high, way above the plantation, way above the slavery land. Say they flew away to freedom, and the old man Toby flew behind them, taking care of them. He wasn't crying. He wasn't laughing. He was the seer. His gaze fell on the plantation where the slaves who could not fly waited. Take us with you. The look spoke, but they were afraid to shout it. Toby couldn't take them with him. Hadn't the time to teach them to fly. They must wait for a chance to run. Goodbye, the old man called. Toby spoke to them. Poor souls. And he was flying gone. So they say. The overseer told it. The one called master said it was a lie, a trick of the light, really. The driver kept his mouth shut. And the slaves who could not fly told about the people who could fly to their children when they were free, when they sat close before the fire in the free land. They told it. They did so love firelight and freedom and telling. They say that the children of the ones who could not fly told their children. And now, me, I have told it to you. The end.
When that Pharaoh chariot comes, I'm gonna leave you. I'm bound for the promised land. I'm gonna leave you. I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave you. Farewell, oh farewell, but I'll meet you in the morning. Farewell, oh farewell, I'll meet you in the morning. I'm bound for the promised land, on the other side of Jordan, bound for the promised land. I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave you. Farewell, oh farewell, but I'll meet you in the morning. Farewell, oh farewell, oh, I'll meet you in the morning. Farewell, oh farewell, oh, I'll meet you in the morning. Farewell, oh farewell.
This ends our Kwanzaa celebration for today. Asante Sana to Ben for reading the folktale, and Asante Sana to you for joining us today. We appreciate you so much, and we thank you so much for joining us all year long. Remember to think about the principle of self-determination today and every day. Self-determination is what our community needs. It's good for you, it's good for us, it's great for our community. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow to continue the Kwanzaa celebration. You can also join us every day on Instagram at Ama Robin Lofton, formerly Espresso Talk Today, and you can leave your questions, comments, reflections, or just anything that you want to say. We want to hear from you, and we are here for you. I'm Ama Robin, and remember, now more than ever, strength, soul, and reparations. Ashe.